Welcome back. Another edition of the Down and Back Cornhole podcast. This is now week 2 of the new show. It looks the same anyway, but here we have, up here, we call him Daryl Bizier. Everyone else down in the lower states knows him as Daryl Bizier. Daryl, welcome to the Down and Back.
Thank you. Great to be here. Great to be here.
So, as I say, we call you that up here because I'm going to say it, you are a Canadian pro. Because you have the connection to up here. We'll say that you are one of. We'll take you on as ours.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yes.
I got a connection from my father. He was born in Quebec. In 41 or 39 actually. I just lost him a couple years ago. So, carry the tradition on.
Yeah, well, like I said, you're one of ours now, so it's they no longer be the American pro. You're now a Canadian pro.
Got you.
So you're down in Florida, right? I'm
Yes,
correct
sir.
on that, yeah, right?
Jacksonville.
So you're in that tough Southeast Conference, which I'm so glad that I'm not in that conference. But how'd you get your start down there?
I coach high school baseball and put on a cornhole tournament before. I mean, really, they just started doing the pros in the ESPN about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe a little bit before that. We did a fundraiser. It turned out pretty good. Did another one the next year. I didn't throw any time between that except at the beach and stuff like that, just for fun. And then, I went to a couple blind draws, and it's addictive. You probably know that too. Just like everybody who's probably in the pros and in the PDC and anybody who's trying to get there, it is addictive. And once you get addicted or are hooked on it, it's hard to stop. Cornhole is a fun game, and the people are just it's just unbelievable. Everybody's so helpful to everybody else, and trying to get everybody better. Even a professional trying to help another professional get better, so maybe they can come up and get them one day, beat them. So they just help. Everybody helps everybody.
Oh yeah, that's my one thing that I love about cornhole is that you've always got someone who's willing to help. Like we used to have before COVID, and now hopefully now that all the restrictions are kind of lifted, we got Bobby Sperry that used to come up all the time and just help people. And even now that he's down part of you guys in the Southeast Conference, Mike Ferreira came up here as well and helped and helped some of us out. But he's now, like I said, down in that tough conference. Like it's, for some people that don't really realize it, you guys are like a national event every weekend. I feel when I see some of your tournaments.
Yeah, regionals alone. That's not in our whole conference. That's just in our area.
Yeah.
In the local area, we got there's 7 pros just in that I can drive to their house. 20, 25 minutes away. Are closer. So just this area alone, we got some of the best. I mean, you got Sorrells, you got Alex Rawls, Alan Rawls, his brother, the Chismarks are over here. Just a pretty loaded little area, our little area of the town of Jacksonville, Middleburg, right there. They're connected.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm guessing with Rob Chismark, and I know Rob. He's a good friend. I got to meet him 2018, but I'm guessing you can probably hear him all the time because of how loud he can get.
I can hear him in the tournament right now. Yeah, Rob's definitely he's definitely a great speaker when it comes to announcing.
Yeah,
actually, I got my name Sweet Tea from Rob.
I wouldn't doubt that he would be the one to do that.
He's given a lot of nicknames out there. But he's definitely gave me the Sweet Tea name when he's just announcing. He comes up with names off the cuff, and they stick with most of the guys that he's gave them to.
Well, yeah, you kind of go back to Sarah Cassidy when she had her breakout at the finals. All of a sudden, she became Southeast Sarah Cassidy, right? So it's he likes to talk.
Yep. That's a great team right there, her and Cheyenne. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So for some other people who may be looking like he kind of looks familiar, you are like the social media person. we've seen, because we've seen you playing hockey with cornhole,
Yeah.
and just all. How do you come up with those ideas for your videos that you put out?
Well, one thing I like to make people laugh, so I try to come up with something funny and related to either cornhole or baseball, or anything else. If people give me ideas, I've had people text me or send me a message on Messenger and say, "Hey, what about this?" Like the excuse maker. I had so many people send me some ideas on the excuse maker part 2 that I went ahead and did an excuse maker part 2 because one was seemed to be so successful, and it's something we all use. We all come up with a lot of them excuses a lot of times, myself included. Sometimes I try not to, but when you can't make them in the hole, you got to come up with something, right?
Oh, exactly.
So
I know that.
yeah. It's just I enjoy making people laugh, and any ideas I can get from other people, it's just it's awesome to intertwine with people and get to know people off social media. I've met a lot of people, and it's just it's a fun way to go about meeting people.
Oh, exactly. I know. I even sent out. You had the one, the roller skating one that you did, and I was like, hey, like that took me back to my youth because it was almost the same moves that we always did. I sent it to a couple of my cousins. I was like, this was like us, like not gonna say a while ago, but it was kind of a while ago. But but that's just
been
fun,
a while.
and that's what I like about the stuff that you do. It's everybody can relate to your videos because they're fun, and it's something that we've all done or thought about doing that you've just went and did it.
Yeah, I'll love to have fun, and I try different stuff. I mean, the first thing that Thursday night when we got to Vegas is I said, I got to try that zip line down the strip. So, that's the first thing we went and done before Friday in the morning when we started our tournament at Nationals. And I just skating. I try to go there as much as I can. Sometimes I get there once a month. Sometimes I get there twice a month, it's fun. And, it does bring back some great memories from back in the day. And the moves, the moves definitely ain't new. Yeah. They're the old school moves because I see the other people skating there, and I am different a little bit from what they do.
yeah. And it was funny. It was funny. I just loved seeing it. So we've got those there videos, but then I've even seen you do put some kind of wrestling stuff in there. So do you have a wrestling connection then as well, or is that just kind of perceived?
Yes, I do. My son, we used to all be in the wrestling big time, like WWE and mm-hmm. Impact and all the different types of wrestling. We used to go at Universal when they had it every Sunday night, and then my son, when he graduated high school and he was playing baseball in college, and decided he didn't want to do it no more, but he fell in love with wrestling, and him and a friend wanted to do it. So I researched and found a school here locally, and then after school, they put them into events, and they didn't have referees that were what they wanted. So I started reffing in all the CCW events, okay. and got into it pretty good. Now I'm pretty tight with the CCW group, and I just put on a fundraiser at my high school for my baseball team with the CCW, and I made a little reffing appearance. We were talking smack to each other, me and the guy that was going to, just fight that night. He was talking mm-hmm. smack about our school, about me as a coach, and, all part of the show, but it was awesome. I had a great time doing it. And that's my little wrestling connection right there. I was supposed to meet a wrestler with you. You were hooked me up.
Yeah, we still got he's I've actually talked to him. He's going to be coming back part 2 on the show here with Terry Morgan, because he was former, he was back WWF days, WCW days.
Right.
And then that led to, we got James Forbes out of St. Thomas here, who's also a wrestler. So I'm like, okay, so we've got a couple of wrestlers up here. We need to find some wrestlers in the States that want to come up and maybe, game of cornhole that might, take a turn or something.
Oh yeah, man. I'd love to meet them. And, especially the old school. That's Gordon Soley. Is that who you're talking about back in the day?
I think he was probably with him now, but yeah. Well, but Terry Morgan is like, he was good friends with the Missing Link, and all the like he did that whole kind of thing, and and that's where that whole cornhole thing kind of tied in, because he's like, the way that they traveled is how people are traveling for cornhole now and on the pro
Yeah.
circuit. Kind of traveling around, you hitting this tournament, this tournament, this tournament. He's like, that's exactly the same way they were.
Yeah, it's awesome meeting the people we get to meet.
Yeah.
Definitely exciting every time I get to travel. If I could, I'd do it all the time. I do got some other things that I'm taking care of. My mom right now moved
Yeah.
in with us about a year and a half ago, so she was diagnosed with dementia. So we get take her with us on a lot of trips and stuff like that, and switch on with my daughter and
Yeah.
my boys sometimes said that everybody helps out.
Well, and that's I think that's the whole cornhole community as well too, right?
It is.
Everyone helps out everyone, and we all kind of hope that we're going to be able to make that big payday sometime where we can quit the real life and just do cornhole. But I think that's still a
Yeah.
little ways away for most of us.
Yeah, that's a dream for a lot of us. Love traveling, and I'm working hard. I don't get to practice like I'd like to. I try to get out in the garage at least an hour or two a day, and just work on my shot. But it's not the same as playing next to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like the interview I did the other day with the news. I told them cornhole's like most sports, but I compared it to baseball. One day, you think you got it. You go out there and you hit 4 base hits in a row, and you say, okay, 4 for 4, man, I got this hitting down. Next day you go 0 for 4. Cornhole's the same way. Sometimes I feel like, man, I can't miss. Then the next day I can't figure out why I'm missing, because I'm doing the same thing. It's a mentally, cornhole is there for sure if you got to be mentally tough.
Well, and I think that's the thing that new players come in, or people new to the game see, and they're like, "Oh, that's an easy game. I can hit that anytime I want." And then they try it, and it's like, okay, maybe it's a little harder than what I thought it was.
Well, you could be the backyard champ at a house with the family, and then you say, "Oh, I got this." I used to think I was good till I went out there on a Friday night and played in the tournament about 2 years ago, and I found out no, I'm not that good. I got to work if I want to compete with these guys.
Well, exactly, and I kind of always go back to 2018. We went down to the ACL finals where we were the best ones up here, and we were like the only league that was kind of going up here in Canada. We go down to Cherokee, and all of a sudden it's like, Toto, we ain't in Kansas anymore, because we're like, we're used to playing with, like, I think the only bags we ever played with were slide rights. And Robbie Graham, who's, the best guy, who's down in Georgia there, every time I see him, I still have to apologize, because he was my first blind draw partner, and he handed me a set of Reynolds bags. And I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with these? Right? And I couldn't keep it on the board or nothing. We lost 2 games straight. But again, you talk about great people in the game. He was just happy to play with like someone who was from an international player coming out of the ACL. Right? And that's where I found the whole ACL family. That everyone was welcoming to everyone, and wasn't afraid to help anyone out.
They're amazing. I mean, I'm blessed to be able to do what we're doing and be able to participate in these nationals and be called a professional cornhole player. This is a backyard game to all of us, but some people just don't realize what cornhole has grown into. It's a growing sport. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and more people are getting better and better. I mean, you're like, what is that? That roll bag that's came out now, and how can somebody hit 10 air mails in a row, or or slide 40 in a row in? It's pretty exciting how the level is way up.
Yeah. Well, and you talked about it a bit before. You talked about it on the news there, but the practice stuff. So how often do you get a chance to practice?
Well, I try every day. I do my best to get out there, and whether it be I go out there for 30 minutes and work on my slide shot to make sure that I'm staying consistent and in rhythm. And airmail is my weakness probably, because I'm not the role guy. You know, that stuff is, I haven't got there yet to even want to try it. I want to be slide airmail if I can, and be consistent with that until I feel like I'm ready to try something else. I've heard that if you try your roll shot, not like in season, do it in off season when you're practicing it, or it could mess up your shot. So I want to stay where I'm at and try to keep getting better. Because, you know, when I started the national, my first one, you know, you're kind of nervous. You're the new guy, the rookie,
Yeah.
and you're trying to get in there against guys you've watched on TV and stuff, and people, you know, that when you step up beside them, that they're great players.
Yeah.
There's no warm ups. Like sometimes you can get a player that you're playing, you know, you should beat as long as you're throwing good. There, you don't have that at the national level. You're playing against somebody good first game, no matter who you're playing.
Well, exactly. And I think that's what some of the people up here are I don't want to say that they're afraid of, but some of them, I think, in talking to them, are kind of nervous that what if they do get a Laurie Duel or a Sam Finley or a you know, Jordan Powers coming up here. They're like, what if I get them first game? I'm like, throw your bag. You know, you still, no matter who's beside you, you've still got to play your game.
Right. And that's something mentally that you have to learn. Look, you throw the same way. Try to not know who's beside you, because that can get you when you know that person beside you is a world champion, or, you know, throws a 10-5 pretty consistently, or whatever it may be. You got to throw your game like I try to picture myself still in the garage with nobody playing me. That's what I try to do when I'm playing somebody next to me. I just, you know, hey, you're in the garage, just throw your bag like normal. You're don't get nervous. Don't just play your game like you normally would. So that's one of my mental approaches.
Well, and I think that's got to be the right way to put it, because, you know, we've always talked about, especially here up at our garage here, our shop here, is that no matter what the other person does, as long as you put your bag in the hole or do what you want to do with your bag, you're going to be fine. Don't worry about that other person's bag.
Right. Because, you know, the great shot sometimes gets somebody's head. There's a bag on the side of the hole that no way they're getting, and then they pick it up, and now you just got messed up and you throw a bad bag because you didn't just put your bags in the hole every time. You're right. I asked Matt Guy when I was just in a group talking to him. He's on my team in the pros, and I asked him what his philosophy. He said, my goal is to put them all in the hole. You can't lose that way. So that's a pretty good philosophy. Though you're right, you can't lose if they're all in.
Well, exactly. It's, you know, you say it's an easy game. It's sometimes hard, but it still comes back to put the bag in the hole. You're fine.
Yeah. It's too bad if we all could do that, we'd be fine, right?
For some of us, if we could just put it on the board all the time, we'd be fine. That's
I always tell myself, hey, you never lose if you don't miss a bag. You can't lose.
It's just that always happens to me when I'm asleep, but when I wake up, then it's gone.
Yeah. It's a great dream to have. I mean, you got to put it in your mind. Though mental thought is a big process. I mean, like I said, I coach baseball, and if a kid sees a pitcher and he's like, "Ooh, that kid throws good," he's already kind of defeated because mentally he's already beat because he's talking about how good the kid is, and I'm not sure. So you're doubting yourself already. So that's why I try to not picture who's beside me, because you might see a guy beside you and you're like, there's no way, you know, and you're already going to lose the game because you're already beat. So you got to picture them as that's nobody beside me. I'm in the garage. I'm going to try my best to just put them in the hole and see what happens. And there's decisions to be made too, you know what I'm saying? So airmail, or should I lay up? Stuff like that comes into play.
Well, that brings up another perfect thing I was talking to a couple of people here about, because they're trying to get more stats into the game, and I'm like, I'm not sure if you really want to bring more stats, because then, you know, you're into baseball. Like I said, it could be turned into a baseball where you're always seeing those, and I call them the baseball stats, that this guy's hitting 300 on Tuesdays when he gets out of bed on the left side, and he has like an orange crush before he goes up to bat, right? there's there's some stats you can come out of whatever, but that can get into your head, and you can be done before you even start if you start letting those stats and not worrying about just bagging the hole.
No doubt, no doubt. The stats in baseball can be like that. A kid's worried about his stats instead of scoring that run across the plate. If he hits a ground ball to the right side of the field and pushes that run across, he's out. He's batting a 0 right now. He's 0 for 1, but he scored a run, and that's what the most important thing was. And the same thing with cornhole too. A guy puts a blocker up. You want to block behind him, or you want to shoot air mails maybe to try and keep your PPR up. It's all a matter of the style of play too. Do you back block because you know that guy pushes real well? Some guys PPRs might not be the greatest, but they're more of a block role players. They make you make mistakes, and that's how they beat you.
Exactly. Yeah. For me, I don't care if my PPR is high, as long as my win total is higher than a PPR. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. I don't think there are probably not many pros that would take a PPR high over win. Most people would rather have a win, and whether you threw an 8 or 7 or whatever, if they won the game, that's all that matters. At the end of the day, winning is what matters the most. Well,
I'm gonna say that a win with a check pays a whole lot more than a high PPR.
Yeah.
All I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, on blind draw nights and stuff, when you get somebody that may not be that good, well, that's when you try to work with them and help them and try to help build the game of cornhole. But at the national level, everybody's there to win. And you still, if you don't have a good time, I think that could hurt you too. You need to have fun. I try to enjoy every minute of this ride, and just honored to be where I'm at right now.
Well, exactly, because it's, like you say, at the end of the day, it's still just a game. And
right.
I guess you can almost be like that in any type of pro ball, pro hockey, whatever. You're still just playing basically a backyard game, right? It's just, you're just playing against higher competition.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a fact. I mean, it's a game, you fell in love with when you were, whether it be a kid or myself. I fell in love with cornhole, in my mid 40s. So not when I was 12 and 10, and like some of these guys that are throwing now at 3 or 4 years old are pretty, doggone impressive. So just the pros here ain't the only ones that are really, really good. There's some guys that could be at that level. They are at that level. They just not on whether they can't do it or they're just not on the pro tour yet, but they are very good players. Well, there's many in Florida that aren't pros that could be.
I'm going to say, like I've said it on the show here many times, is that I got the privilege of telling my partner that he was playing against Luke Johnson back in 2018. I said, I'll take Ryan, but you can play against Luke. I wasn't going to let Luke kind of destroy me, but Ryan ended up doing it anyway. But it's still like, seeing kids like that, and he was one kid that I kind of watched that week in 2018. Just he really studied the game. Like you could, he was always on a open board, just throwing in. And I think, Florida's got so many young kids, because at that time, it was Luke. It was, Alex Rawls was there at that time, just trying to find an open board. Sorrells was there, and there was just so many young players out of Florida that it was like, give the rest of us a break, because there's so many great players.
Oh, there's many more young ones coming. You got Trevor and Easton.
Yep.
Who 7 years old and 4 years old. But that's the youngest, I would say. But then you got great ones out there that's winning, like Fisher, came in, I think in the conference, lost in the championship. Mm-hmm. Fisher Hamilton. Yep. He was 16. So, I mean, yes, the talent level is crazy. There is a lot of young talent out here. And these guys are all going to be trouble. They're trouble now, so they're going to be trouble when they get up to that age that they can go try to beat it at the pro level.
Yeah, and it's just like I say, I'm so glad I am not in that conference at all because it would be just me just watching. I would just throw the flag in right then and I'd be done.
It definitely helps you get better.
Well,
You're not going to any regional or conference and getting a easy draw. I mean, the regional this past weekend, I didn't get to go to it, but it was stacked from what I heard. I just watched some of the games. I watch them, or I'll talk to people that are there and say, "How you doing?" or "How's the game going?" And they tell me who's there, and I'm like, "Wow, that's like a pro tournament right there." With only like 15 teams, 20 teams in a tournament with 10 pro teams.
yeah. Well, and it's like, Mike Ferreira being a good friend of the show, he was up in the Northeast, and not to take anything away from the Northeast because they've got a ton of younger
Yeah,
talent up there as well. But he was up there and he was kind of in like I think he was around like 100, ranked 120th in the ACL. Then he moves down to your conference, and then last year just blows up and has like an incredible year, just because he's playing with the better players that you're with all the time.
yeah. Well, look at the young talent everywhere. It's the kids. It's just amazing. I mean, Gores, them boys can play. Alex Hicks, he's in the pros. He makes a run. He can beat anybody at any time.
Yep.
I mean, just those younger kids that are in there is just it's crazy. I mean, and there's so many more good ones coming. The
I want to
Kids
say,
32 thing is really blowing up and getting the younger kids involved. That's what's really awesome.
I just think that the ACL may have to lower the seniors age group just to let us have a chance at maybe winning something.
Yeah, the seniors ain't no joke though.
Exactly, yeah, because then you just got to deal with Damon Dennis and kind of guys like that, where it's like, okay, maybe a middle division. How about like a middle division for
Yeah.
for us?
Yeah, I don't know how close Matt Guy is, but he's coming right there, ain't he?
Yeah,
And I'm not far, but yeah, I still have to deal with all them same people.
yeah.
So,
Well, and talk about another senior in your area would be Hasib Habibon as well too down there.
oh
He's a
man,
guy that can. I don't want to say he'll sneak up on you, but he can kind of sneak up on you as well.
yeah, Seeb's a good player. I was about to say ball player, but yeah, he is very good, and he's in most of the conference. He's about a hour and a half away from me. But yeah, he's at most of the regional tournaments and stuff. Him and Brad. Yeah, Hasib's and nobody. Like I said, you don't stand beside nobody, especially a pro. And there's nobody you can say, "Oh, I'll win that game."
Mm-hmm.
I myself, I don't. I don't go up next in anybody really. Even if they're not a pro and say, "Oh, I got this easy." I go in and try to throw my game the best I can.
That's really all you can do because I'm just as long as my partner can drag me along, I'm going to get a little farther. But it's
I keep telling Lori that. Lori, can you make every bag so you can carry me somewhere?
Yeah.
So we can get somewhere. I'll try and hold my end down, and you just score a bunch of points for us.
Yeah, it's but again, she's another great person. Hopefully, she'll be able to come on the show when she does come up here in another week and a half. But yeah, it's been a great fun. But it's that time of the show again where I know I have sponsors, but what are your sponsors that you want to give a shout out that have helped you along the way?
Oh well, actually, social media kind of got the shirt I got on 24/7 Cornhole. We knew each other before, but he saw me on social media and then texted me and said, "Daryl, I want you to join us." I talked to him a little bit, and man, he's been awesome helping me out along the way. And then my bag sponsor, Swag Bags, they have. I mean, I couldn't ask for more support than Chauncey and Scott have given me as far as getting bags to us, getting merchandise to us, anything we need. They're just on it right off the bat, and you can't ask for more than that. And then King's Throne is a big one. So we and then a few locals that that have donated money to me. Not really, just people, friends, ball players of mine that I've had in the past. So I've been blessed with it. I've coached some some major league guys that are in the major leagues now. They haven't not nothing to do with sponsors. Just
Yeah.
I've been blessed with ball players that just keep in touch with me, call me once in a while and stuff like that. And then some of them own businesses now and gave me a little bit of sponsorship, said they wanted to sponsor me. But I've been pretty blessed with that, and I can always use more when I get them. So that's what I hope. Hopefully next year or the coming up summers, I'm going to try and do more charities and stuff like that. Is what I really want to use my platform to help people in need and stuff. Our charities that may push something to the next, to the anything I can do as far as helping their charity grow and get bigger.
Well, I'll put a link down below in the info section of the video here to your social media feeds to let more people see some of the fun that you do have, because I think for me you're almost a sponsor's dream, the way you're on social media having fun, because I think that's what they want. Because I think we can get into the sponsorship stuff, because there's so many people that just, I have this sponsor, and that's it, right? Where they're not kind of having fun with it or trying to do something to help out their sponsor as well. They're just like, I have this, I have that. It's more than just wearing a jersey, for my feeling.
Yeah, and I tell my sponsors that I'd like to really, the charity thing is what I really told people I wanted to do if I ever got to the professional level, is really help out charities and stuff like that, go to the events and try to promote it and stuff like that. The same with my sponsors. I try to push them, and I tell people, I let them throw the bags. I want them to see how good the bag is or how it feels, because everybody likes different style of bags. There's a lot of bags out there, so I mean, and everybody's got their own preference, whether it be slow, fast, medium, speed. They roll better with whatever it may be. But and the TikTok thing, if anybody's got any suggestions, man, throw them my way, because I like trying different stuff. Getting on the roof wasn't necessarily one thing. It just popped in my head one day. I said, hey, let me go practice on the roof. When you know how you practice on the ground and people are all around you. So I said, let me go on the roof. Time to get away. With nobody around. You get practice when nobody knows you're up there.
Exactly. But it's fun. That's the main thing, is having fun. And I think that's what then draws more people in.
Yeah.
I think because people want to see, what, I can try that. And then all of a sudden they're into the sport of cornhole. Yes.
And it's a great sport. And once you get in, it's hard to get out. I mean, this is a sport that you love. I mean, and it's so many people you meet that are great. I mean, you meet so many great people in this sport. And I mean, I've been in a lot of sports, and this one is one that is the family comes together to help each other. When people, just the local people have had problems, the cornhole community has really went to bat for them, whether it be like we were talking about, a tournament to help out the family.
Yep.
The winners donate the money back or whatever it may be. I mean, it's just the family's amazing.
Exactly, yeah. And we've even had, we've got a group from Newfoundland that's coming up. One of the leagues in Niagara took their 50-50, and the person even donated their winnings back and gave it to those 10 people that are, to help them with their travel, which is,
right.
That is what the cornhole community is about, is just having fun and helping other people.
It is definitely. So, but that's just, hopefully I can keep growing in it. And, and the TikTok stuff and the reels on Facebook has been, I love it. And I'm slacking right now. I need some ideas. I'm going to do a few tomorrow, but we've had 2 baseball games last night and tonight. So I'm like, man, I got to go make something. So I'm going to have some fun tomorrow doing them.
I've been kind of the same way, but it's just getting ready for this open. Cornhole is becoming work. It's not it's becoming work.
But, worth it though.
Yeah, well, for sure. And I got to give people that help me out is as always, they're now going down below on the screen. OctaneCornhole.com. Get all of your cornhole needs there, and as well as the new down and back jerseys, which you can order. You actually have to go through my Facebook page, because Matt hasn't put it up on the official site. You have to go through the Facebook page. JCCornhole.com. Go to Jamie for all of your board needs when he's not at at an open or a national. You can message him saying me may help you get a discount, but probably not the way he is. But then myearfund.com, discount code corndog will get you 20% off of that. Forgot to say, discount code corndog will get you 10% off of octanecornhole.com. But Cornhole will get you 20% off of myearfund.com to get yourself a set of earbuds. And if you're Daryl, you can always use a waterproof Bluetooth speaker in Florida. So check them out. As always, CSC Cornhole. There's some new bags coming. I can't really say which ones are coming up, but there's a big shipment of bags coming up to csccornhole.com, which is Cornhole Supplies Canada. And then talk about giving back, sierrahome.com. If you're in the Edmonton, Alberta area, check Darren out there, because a portion of your home inspection fee will go to a children's cancer hospice in Edmonton. So that's, like I say, it's always about giving back, and Darren does a great job with that. So check him out on Facebook, Sierra Home Inspections, and give him a like. Let him know that you heard about it here. But Daryl, this has been a long time in the making, and I want to thank you for coming on and talking here.
Hey, I appreciate it. I had a blast, and I always try to. Like I said, look me up. SweetT_ACL Pro is my TikTok, and you can look me up on Facebook, ACL Pro, Daryl Bizier, ACL Pro, anytime. Love to meet new people, and like I said, it's great family, and you get to know each other almost better than you do some family members just on social media, talking back and forth to somebody.
Yep, well, exactly.
Somebody you've never met.
Yep,
and y'all become great friends. So it's just amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. So like I said, I'll put links down below to all of that, so people can just click on it and check you out. So again, thanks for this here, and as always, watch out for those guys throwing gas, because probably not me, but they might just kick your ass.